What's happening, YouTube? Welcome to a quick review of my two favorite Pokemon sets. If you are still listening to this video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But onto the video. As I'm sure you've seen from the title, especially the I guess the purpose of this video is to kind of discuss my two favorite sets from the Sword and Shield era. And the two sets, of course, being Brilliant Stars and Evolving Skies. So Evolving Skies came out in, I think, August last year, so it's been out for some time now. And then Brilliant Stars came out in February of this year. So again, we're talking almost a month for Evolving Skies and nearing half a year. Sorry, did I say a month? A year for Evolving Skies and almost 6 months, almost half a year for Brilliant Stars. So obviously, plenty of time for people to get their heads around what the sets themselves, what they like, plenty of time to collect complete sets, that kind of thing. Just to give a little bit of background on myself, I run an eBay store. I have my own website too, where I buy, sell, grade a little bit of everything, a little bit of sealed product, but it's mostly graded in single cards. So I do have some idea, and I can give some information about exactly, I guess how popular the sets are, and exactly how well they've been doing for myself in terms of buying and selling the singles, and then generally, the kind of sentiment towards the sets, how people are feeling, how steady they've been doing throughout as well. And obviously, I've seen over the last year and a half, for both graded and single cards, just genuinely the trends that have been happening throughout. So I've got Poker Collector up here, and you can see obviously all the different Sword and Shield sets, ranging from obviously Sword and I can't speak Sword and Shield base back in 2020. So let's take a look at this. If it wants to load, I'll let that load in the background. And then, of course, Pokemon Go, which is the most recent set. In terms of the Japanese stuff, we've just had Lost Abyss being released with that insane looking Giratina alt art. So, yeah, 1st of February 2020, sorry. So that's 2.5 years, which is insane to think about. Almost 2.5 years ago. Obviously, crazy time since then. But yeah, as I mentioned, the two sets that I think everyone quite quickly picks out are Brilliant Stars, and Evolving Skies. Let me not mix them up. I think generally Sword and Shield, the era itself, started off pretty slow. I think it was pretty much slow until Vivid Voltage and the Amazing Rares came out, and there's a lot of hype for that. And then from then on, it's kind of been up and down. And once we hit Evolving Skies celebrations, I really like Fusion Strike too. So obviously you can see here coming out in that order, and they've been pretty much bangers since. Pokemon Go's okay. It's another small set similar to Celebrations. But it's a nice collectible set. You've got some solid Pokemon in there. Your Mewtwo's, your Dragonite, obviously that Skyscraper Mewtwo alt art too. And then also at the same time, of course, Battle Styles was the first set to release alt art, and as anyone who kind of collects and follows Modern will know, that they are the cards to get. They are the cards to collect for that. So I'd say, yeah, generally it's been a good era. Obviously, we've got Scarlet and Violet coming up at the end of the year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens between now and then. Also, we've I can't recall exactly when, but at the beginning of the year, it was at the end of last year, we had the Legends Arceus game come out, and of course, sets like Astral Radiance are based on that. So it will be interesting to see what happens between now and then. Obviously, we've got a little bit of insight into the next, is it Lost Origins is the English version, and obviously Lost Abyss in Japanese. So we've got, I think everyone's already hyped for that Giratina alt art, as I mentioned. So that should be pretty solid. But generally, yeah, as I mentioned, sentiment's been quite positive. Started off slow. I think generally I would say from Vivid Voltage onwards, it picked up. I know most people aren't big fans of Battle Styles and Chilling Reign. I do think Chilling Reign's actually quite a good set. It's got a lot of good Pokemon in there, a lot of good arts. Obviously, you've got your bird trios, you've got your Calorexes, you've got some nice art. Alt arts, you've got your Celebes, that kind of thing. I guess they were just overprinted, and then I don't know, we're at a phase, I think a bit of a lull in between, and it needed something like Evolving Skies to kind of kick things back into gear. I still think Chilling Reign's a fantastic set. Battle Styles, I'm not that keen on generally, but Chilling Reign I think is fantastic, and for me, it's the top five. I would say for me, it's the top five Sword and Shield set. But that's obviously not what you're here to listen to, and obviously I have been going on and talking a little bit too much. But kind of yeah, let's just kind of get into the set. So I think we should start with Evolving Skies, as I mentioned, released August 2021. So 203 set cards in the base set, and then obviously you've got your 34 secrets, so then that gives you 237 cards in total, which makes it a massive set. Not as big as some others, of course, in Sword and Shield, and obviously Cosmic Eclipse, and I think Unified Minds is I think 214, and then Secrets, and you've also got a couple of others. Sorry, it's just not on the it's on the tip of my tongue. The some of the other Sun and Moon sets. So it is on the it is a larger set. You can't really deny that. There's a large number of cards in this set, but I think generally most people would say that there's a kind of solid amount of there's a consistent amount of good cards throughout the set. It's not just one or two bangers like a lot of people kind of think of with like battle styles where you've got your Altar Tyranitar and the Sleepy Tyranitar, and that's pretty much it. And I guess if you look at Shining Fates, or even worse, so Champion's Path, which you just have your obviously your secret rare Charizard. So the one thing that I really like with Evolving Skies is the fact that there's just a range of good cards, and it starts, I wouldn't say from the bottom, because I personally don't take too much of an interest in the common cards generally, commons, uncommons, rares. Obviously, if they've got some nice arts, I'm always keen, and I'm always interested in that. There's don't think it's really worth me going through all of them individually, but I'm sure there's plenty. I think this Love Disc, for example, I think my internet's just being a bit shit, so I'll probably not do that. I'll just not load that. So yeah, rather than it starting from the bottom, I'd say it kind of starts from the V Max is your kind of generic ultra rares. Like, obviously there's the evolutions. I don't need to tell you how popular they are, and from what I've seen since the beginning, they just do really really well. I'm always getting evolution V Maxes in. I've got a few of the V cards too, and they fly. People are always interested in them. People are always collecting them. The fact that we have the six in the set itself that you can kind of come together and collect, it's always nice. It's kind of like a mini set within the big set as well. So yeah, they're lovely. Obviously, you've got I think the big hitters, or not the big hitters, but I think for me my favorites would be the Espeon and the Umbreon, of course. Who doesn't love those two, right? So yeah, you've got some insanely good VMAXs even just to start with this kind of mini evolution set. And then you also add in the fact that you've got a Gyarados VMAX as well. Again, Gyarados, another Gen 1, insanely popular card. Everyone loves that. Everyone loves a Gyarados. No one's complaining about that. And I don't, yeah, and well, Rayquaza is even more popular and even more kind of beloved than Gyarados is. So even starting at the bottom, even starting at the bottom, you have a very kind of good standard with those evolutions, with the Gyarados, with the Rayquaza. So the as soon as you kind of touch the ultra rares, you're thinking fantastic. It's such an amazing set of VMAX cards that you have in the set, and obviously because VMAX cards are relatively common, you'll get 4, 5, 6 maybe in a box if you're lucky. You're always picking up a few, and then it's kind of worth, maybe if you crack a box or two open, then you can pick up the remaining evolutions. They go for a decent amount, at least in the UK. They go from between like £5 to £10 roughly for all of the VMAX cards, and you compare that to any of the other sets where VMAX cards are basically like kind of bulk prices, like £2, £3, £4, £5 at most. So there's real solid basis with the ultra rares. And obviously beyond that, we've got the full art Vs, and I think generally people just don't, because the alt arts come in and they take a lot of the attention away. For example, these a lot of these full art Vs, people probably think they're a little bit boring, but I really like the kind of plain but embellished and and vibrant backgrounds that they have. Out of the ones in this set, I'd say my favorite's probably Vaporeon. I like Vaporeon anyway. So I'm never going to say no to that. Then you've obviously got your Gyarados V full art as well, another great art there too. These are obviously a little bit like kind of CGI and CGI backgrounds, but I think people appreciate that. I think people do enjoy that. You've also got your Suicune V as well. That's another card. That's another quite popular card. Generally, these full art Vs don't sell as, from what I've seen at least, they don't sell as frequently as the VMAX cards, but you obviously expect the cheaper cards to sell a little bit more, frequently. So you've got an insanely good start with the Evolution VMAXs, Gyarados and Rayquaza, and then we've got, there's not a single, I guess, full art V apart from maybe Arctovish, and I like Volcaron. I think Arctovish and Trevenant are probably the two where I'm thinking, they're not that great. We've got more bangers than the likes of Dragonite. Noivern's pretty good as well. I love the background on that Noivern. It's super nice and colorful. I'm going to try and open it and hopefully it loads. Yeah, exactly. We've got this really nice colorful. But this is quite a popular card, surprisingly popular. But I say that, and I love the card myself. So it's a bit of a strange one. And then of course your Dragonite, Lycanroc again. That's another one people really like. So it's not really the most popular Pokemon, but the art's nice. The background too. Rayquaza V. So just the kind of quality just steps up again. I think maybe Duraludon's another one where it's kind of a bit of a meh. Full art V. So again, the quality really steps up again with from these V Maxes to the full art Vs. One kind of place I think the set lacks in really is the trainers, whether it be the full arts here or the rainbow rares. I think for me, I just not really a fan of any of them. If it's going to be any one, it's going to be Zinnia, and I still prefer her Sun and Moon card. What set's that from? I'm not entirely sure. But that card I prefer over this. So that's kind of the first kind of negative we've spoken about is the trainers, the Fallout trainers, and because they are so popular and people really do love them. It's a shame that they didn't have any cool full arts in here. If like a Cynthia's Ambition was in here, perhaps maybe, because obviously that's a nice one. Maybe some just more interesting characters. I really like the Chile Crescent Island full art. If that was in here, for example, too, I just think these are lacking generally. But once again, you've got alt arts coming in and really grabbing and taking that attention away from the full arts genuinely. I think before the alt arts came out, it was really, really very much about the full art trainers, and then alt arts come in and they basically dominate and annihilate and push everything out of the way. And before talking about those alt arts, I'm going to quickly kind of go through the secret rares. So again, they kind of obviously they carry the same popular Pokemon through. So each of the evolutions again has got the rainbow rares. I think generally they're nice, they're rare. Then they are hard to pack. You'll get one a box. Realistically, they're just again, it's one of those. Maybe once we pass through this era and they think of something else, or they have a different rainbow rare design, it just takes over the card a little bit too much, in my opinion. And for that reason, and I think most people generally prefer the full art Vs and prefer the alt art. The rainbow rares usually do have a higher price just because they are a lot rarer. Although you might pick up 2 or 3 full art Vs in a box, but the rainbow rares maybe one. Often you can open. It doesn't happen too often, sorry, but you can open a box and not actually get rainbow rare too. Although again, not too frequent. So I think generally the rainbows kind of take away the art itself, and it's kind of overtakes the card a little bit too much. But there's some obviously amazing cards in here. You've got Rayquaza VMAX, Umbreon VMAX. I really like this Lycanroc card, even with obviously everything I'm complaining about in terms of how they kind of overtake the color. Oh, I have. Did I say there's no Espeon and there is no Jolteon Rainbow Rare. I did. I think I just to correct myself. I did say that that all the rate evolutions had a Rainbow Rare, but they obviously don't. The Gold Secret Rares, that's three cool Pokemon there. Frostlass probably I put a little bit below the other two. Inteleon is insane. Such a cool Pokemon. Cresselia, Gen 4 Legendary. That's my shit. I love that. I'm good with that. And for me personally, everyone, we all like the look of the secret rare energies, and I'm not too bothered about the trainers generally. So, yeah, it's more the Pokemon again. Inteleon, insane. It's a cool Pokemon anyway. It's bloody James Bond as some weird kind of animal. So yeah, that's super cool. And then obviously on to the best thing about the set, and it have no doubt. I'm sure you've already been telling me, hey, why don't you just skip to talking about the alt arts because they're the best part of the set? And yeah, probably spent too long talking about things that aren't the alt arts. But I'm just gonna get a few of them open. The what would you say your favorite of the Evolving Skies alt arts is? I know I'm sure people are gonna say Umbreon, Umbreon V, Umbreon V Max, Dragonite V, of course, Rayquaza. There's just so many good. Almost every single one of them is a banger. Or any of them not. Maybe the Duraludon's a bit boring, but even then, that's not even too bad. Chilling by a tree with Rayhan, right? That again, even that's not even that bad of an art. And then obviously you've got your kind of secret rare. But again, maybe this Duraludon V Max is it's Duraludon, right? Like it's a bit boring. No one really cares. But then you kind of back it up with the Moonbreon, the Rayquaza V Max, and I'm obviously just quickly going to open these up to take a quick look. But you have some um, insane arts with these guys. This obviously Espeon getting up to some shenanigans in the room. I think from the evolutions, this is probably my favorite. Just Glaceon chilling. Come on, sometimes we all feel like that. Winter, cold day, just sat there chilling. Maybe not outside, maybe inside instead. I think perhaps my favorite might be this Golurk. Like that's not like my like kind of edgy pick where I don't want to be like everyone else saying that Glaceon or one of the evolutions is my favorite. There's something about this Golurk which it's just fantastic. The art itself with the Swablues and just obviously building whatever it's supposed to, some kind of bridge, putting something together. I think it's just fantastic. What I like a lot about the Old Touch is they kind of do incorporate a little bit about the Pokemon. It tells us a little bit about the Pokemon itself. You can see obviously Golurk kind of, you can imagine you have a Golurk, bit of a weird thing to imagine obviously, but you have a Golurk, what's it going to be doing? It's going to be helping you with this kind of stuff, right? Medicham is another cool one. This one, I think these just sell like hotcakes. Whenever I get my hands on these, I'm buzzing because they will go and they will do really well. Umbreon V, we've got all these Pokemon here. I think I saw on a Reddit post someone was able to decipher all of these different Pokemon. Obviously, that's a Pinsir, that's a Grimmsnarl. I can't really tell from here what the others are, but maybe you can figure it out. This, oh god, there's Sleepy Dragonite too. Yeah, I think if it's not the Golurk, this will be my favorite instead. It's such a beautiful card. Just Dragonite lying on its back, chilling. Insane art. Rayquaza is nice. I do like it, obviously, with the Zinnia and the Whismur as well, but I don't like the fact that it's not kind of emphasizing the Rayquaza itself. It's focused on the back of it and not it itself. That's probably the one gripe I have with this, but still an insane card. Noivern, the Batman Noivern. Do I need to say any more? Super cool. Leafeon VMAX. This is kind of cute. Obviously, I like it. It's kind of it's kind of playing around with the hay. Yeah, it's all right. I think generally is quite popular. It's not really my thing as much as it is other people's probably. So yeah. And then obviously we've got kind of saved the best or the most popular two to last. Moonbryon, insane. Just Umbreon itself, obviously huge Umbreon VMAX, Dynamax, obviously from the games, and then obviously like, looking as if it's kind of pointing, playing with the moon. It's just beautiful. It is just art. Rayquaza has a bit too much going on here for me personally. I do prefer the Moonbryon, but again, Dragonite, and so surprisingly, I know I'm being a bit hipster and I'm being a bit edgy, but the Golurk for me is probably my favorite. The Golurk and the Dragonite. Come on, like sue me. I like to be a little bit edgy, and I don't like to be exactly liking the same cards as everyone else. You know, that's all right. And then on to So sorry, before we get on to that, just a kind of just to say again, the reason why this set is just so good is it's not just it's just consistently good throughout the different rarities, but then also each one of them just bangs as well. And you've just got there's plenty of sets out there with a couple of good cards, and they're still kind of popular sets because it's like, oh, we have the one pull. And this has those Moonbryon and the Rayquaza VMAX Altar has those big pulls, but also it's so consistent throughout the set. It is just such a good set because of that. And yeah, you don't find that much in Sword and Shield, and in many eras generally. It's just it's like if they separated it into two sets where it was the Eevee set and it was obviously the kind of the dragon sets like they did in Japanese, we'd probably look at both of those sets and say those are two insane sets. So imagine amalgamating them and putting them together, and that is what Evolving Skies is. So then now on to the competition. That's not what I wanted to look at. That is the training gallery. So yeah, the base Brilliant Star set doesn't start off as well as Evolving Skies. You've obviously got a couple of cool cards. I love Shaymin V Star. Again, another super popular card. Everyone is, I get them in, they sell within days and they fly out. The Charizard, what needs to be said, it's a Charizard, right? And then obviously we've got the V Stars too of both the Shaymin and the Charizards. The Charizard, sorry. Mimikyu VMAX is a nice one. It's not like a super expensive card or anything like that, but it's still a nice one, a nice card too. I like Honchkrow. I'm a big Gen 4, Gen 3, Gen 4 and Gen 3 are probably my favorite gen. So anything from like cool Gen 4 Pokemon. Obviously, Honchkrow was introduced into Gen 4 as the evolution for Murkrow. And obviously wasn't seen before. So anything like that, I'm all over. Certainly, Arceus V as well, of course. And then there's obviously, again, not that interested in commons and commons. I'm sure if this was like a single set review, I would sit through and kind of look at some more of the arts because I do appreciate doing that. Like I've seen this Torterra a few times because I've opened the set. Lovely card. But yeah, on to some decent V Stars, just they don't hit as many. There's probably two good V Stars. Well, both V Stars are good, and then I think Mimikyu VMAX is probably the best of the rest of those. Aggron VMAX, it's okay. I do like Aggron. On to the kind of more higher ultra rare secret rare cards. We've got Shaymin and Charizard, both that Shaymin card. Again, another one. Shaymin is surprising to me, super duper popular. I didn't realize it was as popular as it did. They fly out, and it's never complaining if that's the case. Obviously got a full art V Charizard as well, and Luminion's okay. I'm not the biggest fan. Grand Ball again, Whimsicott. I really like the Honchkrow. It's still quite a cheap card either way, which is good for a lot of people. And it's another popular one that sells a lot, even though that's probably because it's quite cheap. Zamazenta V, big fan of this card. I love the fact that it's kind of got this blue background, and then the one from Sword and Shield base is red. Flygon V, and then this really nice pink. This pink Arceus. And I can kind of last but not least are the kind of Raichu and Pikachu pair. I think both of those are fantastic. The Pikachu in particular is just adorable. It is adorable. So yeah, that's a fantastic one. And then on and then before again, just the trainers, the Fallout trainers. So as I mentioned, Evolving Skies. Generally, I'm not a big fan. As I know, there's only 5, and as I mentioned, Zinnia Resolve is probably the only one I actually don't hate. I wouldn't say hate, but I don't dislike or actually feel something towards. Whereas I think the Fallout trainers in this set are better. I wouldn't say they're insane. I guess there's just not too many to kind of show off. But for me, Cynthia's Ambition and the Marnie's Pride are two of the best Fallout trainers in the entirety of Sword and Shield. Which is why these are the two cards that really raise Brilliant Stars as a set for me. Particularly the Cynthia's Ambition. I just big fan of this as a card. Shame the Rainbow Rare's a bit, it's a bit kind of just blinds you, doesn't it? So again, we've got some of the popular Pokemon now with obviously secret rares and rainbow rares. So we've got the Shaymin V-Star, another card just flies out. All of the kind of the V-Stars in this set and the secret rares are very, very popular. I find people are buying them all the time and picking up a few at a time. The big boys will obviously be the Charizard and the Arceus. So the Charizard's still around. I think it's around $100. I don't know, UK price probably £100 perhaps. Sorry, I can't, I guess, be more precise, but Charizard. It's a Charizard. It's a secret rare Charizard, and I think I do prefer this. No, I don't. I do prefer the Champion's Path Secret Rainbow Rare to this. I mean, I'm again, as mentioned, I am not the biggest fan of Secret Rares, but both that it's a Charizard first of all, and I think the art is better on that one than on this. Still, you pull this, you're buzzing, right? Pays for your box, and then of course the Arceus V-Star, and just kind of that menacing look on Arceus's face is just, it's intimidating. It's like it's staring you straight in the eyes before it just destroys you and turns you into dust. Fantastic Rainbow Rare. Even for a Rainbow Rare, I really do like that Arceus card. The Fallout Trainer secret rares, Rainbow Rares, for me still not as good as the kind of normal ultra rare Fallout Trainers, but they're still cool. Onto the gold secret rares, and obviously we've got the bird trio. These three birds. What have you guys been up to? So yeah, they obviously kind of first appeared at their Galarian form. Sorry, first appeared in Chilling Reign, and they were kind of really nice in that set with the kind of alt arts that they had in there. And then obviously now we have the three gold, the three kind of gold secret rare versions. They are obviously the art's taken from the art is copied from the previous cards, but with a gold background instead, rather than the kind of Fallout V backgrounds that they had before in Chilling Reign. Moltres, I think from the 3 is the most popular one, definitely. And then I think Articuno second, and the Zapdos. You know, the orange chicken, the weird chicken. You know, are you taking the weird chicken, or are you taking the insane pink and black Phoenix? Come on. Not even close, is it? But still, 3 really nice pickups. 3 really nice cards to get. Good sellers, do well, good price. I think they're well priced at the moment generally. So I would certainly stuff that I'm picking up. And then the Arceus V-Star, again, that kind of menacing, but without the rainbow. Now you can see the kind of green gems, the gold on the weird, I don't even know what to call it. It's kind of the cover case thing of the body, whatever it is. Insane art. And those are just energy, so I'm just going to ignore them. So Ultra Balls are always nice. They're really popular. They do really well. I don't play the TCG, but perhaps it's because of that, or just because I guess it's super useful in that. And then the Magma Basin, it's cool. It's nice. Nothing special, but it's nice. And then quickly onto the alt art. So let me not put that one last. Yeah. So first alt art is the Luminion V, and even though I would say, in my opinion, it's the worst, it's still fantastic. Come on, look at that. The kind of watercolor effect on the background, and then obviously kind of swimming between corals, and it's there's not too much else going on in there, which is I guess what I like about it. It's kind of like a nice like a watercolor, and then Luminion. Then you've got the Hunch Crow sleeping with the Murkrow in the tree. As I mentioned before, I'm a big Honchkrow fan, which is probably why I like this card more than most people. And then obviously you've got the baby Murkrows kind of sleeping underneath. Insane. I love it. And then obviously the two best alt arts in the set being the Arceus V. What can you say about this? It's like the one from the figure box, but 10 times better because it's an alt art. It's a proper full art alt art, and it's just kind of Arceus exploding above the earth. Like, what more do you want from a Yu-Gi-Oh card? Yeah, sorry, Pokemon card. It's not. This is art. This is not a card. Remove the text. Yeah, I think someone on Instagram. I'm not too sure exactly, but or Reddit perhaps, they remove all the text from the arts and then upscale them and then kind of expand them, and then you just have the art to look at, and like Michelangelo painted it himself. It's insane, like Michelangelo's rendition of God or something insane like that. It's so beautiful. Left the Charizard for last, similar to the art from the XY promo, the one that came with the magazine. I prefer the Arceus generally. Um, but this Charizard, the Charizard and Venusaur arts with the ones with them together seem to always bang, like so good. And again, similar to the Rayquaza, it's a bit of a weird angle. But the fact that obviously it needs this angle to incorporate the Venusaur, and then you've got this weird, you've got this, not weird, sorry, but you've got this nice aspect of, the kind of battle going on, and you're really like, it's like you're kind of hidden in the bush with your weird camera being a bit of a weirdo being a bit of a stalker, seeing the two of them fight. So alt arts again, it's obviously common between the two sets, are just insane. So good. And one thing, of course, that Evolving Skies doesn't have, and probably doesn't because they just introduced it a little bit later, but probably would have, is the trainer gallery. So one thing I would like to say is the trainer gallery, generally the print quality was abysmal, and it really put me off the set. And it's mostly the first 12, the ones with the yellow borders, they're the ones that I've seen that are the worst, but even the others as well, they can be quite bad. And it's a shame because generally the Pokemon here and the trainers here are pretty nice. I would still say Astral Radiance trainer gallery is better, but some highlights for me are obviously the Ace Roller. I'm just gonna kind of get them up. There's some cool arts here. I'm not, the first 12 again, like they're nice pickups. They're cheap. Pick up a set of 12, it'll cost you 12 quid, 13 quid. Like, lovely mini set to collect. Obviously you had your kind of what I made up as a mini set in Evolving Skies, but sorry, let me just zoom out so I can get all of that. Yeah, so it's that kind of made up set of evolutions that I mentioned in Evolving Skies, and then you've obviously got an actual mini set here. So yes, the ones that I wanted to kind of look at mostly, Ace Roller's Premonition. It's cute, and then obviously this Karen with the Umbreon VMAX. Who is not all over this card? Come on. And there's obviously Urshifu with Mustard doing they've really pushed Urshifu with Rapid and Single Strike. They've done a lot. One thing I've really liked about this era is they've really put together some of the good stuff from the latest era, the latest Pokemon like Urshifu, and then they've really introduced a lot of the older Pokemon really, quite well, and put them together quite well. Something I have really appreciated. Then obviously you've got this Urshifu training with Mustard in the water. And yeah, I would say those are my personally those are my favorites from the trainer gallery. Again, Astral Radiance training gallery for me is a little bit better, but it's a benefit. It's a pro compared to Evolving Skies not having one though, right? So yeah. So overall, obviously, I've given quite a thorough, in-depth review of both sets in terms of sentiment, in terms of I've tried to give a little bit of insight into obviously me as a store owner, how well the cards are doing. Obviously Brilliant Stars, the trainer gallery coming together kind of make it a similar size set to Evolving Skies, although it is still a smaller set. And then you of course get the trainer gallery cards within the reverse hollow slot as well, so it's a little bit nicer to open. Brilliant Stars has the nicer trainer cards, has the nicer trainer cards, has the in my opinion, I would say generally the kind of full art V level, I would say they are reasonably similar. Yeah, in terms of the full art Vs. Obviously the VMAXs are definitely better in Evolving Skies. And then I think generally overall the kind of gold secret rares and the rainbow secret rares are probably better in Evolving Skies, just because there are obviously so many more compared to the Brilliant Stars, and for that reason I would probably say Brilliant Stars is probably second to Evolving Skies as the best set of Sword and Shield. I think that kind of consistency and just the sheer number of insane cards. I missed this Glaceon and Sylveon VMAX, I think, as well. But just the sheer number of cards, it is two insane sets put together to make one. That's how good it is. It could have been separated out into two sets, and they still would have been two of the best sets of the era. So yeah, for me, it's actually closer than I thought, to be honest. As I mentioned, the full arts are better well, of course, all in my opinion, Brilliant Stars, and the V's are kind of similar level. Alt arts are worse, but only because there's fewer of them. For me, like the Arceus V is the best full art out of all of them. Alt art, sorry. So yeah, I would give it to Evolving Skies, and I would say yeah, Brilliant Stars comes in second. Not as far away as I would have thought, but for me, I think I think most people, it's pretty, it's the kind of consensus that Evolving Skies is the best set. I wouldn't say it's unanimous. There are a few people obviously that prefer Brilliant Stars, but obviously that's all up to them to decide. Sorry, I've really kind of stretched out this video. It's almost 40 minutes, but thanks for watching. If anyone is this far, again, as I mentioned before, feel free to throw out a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Your favorite set of Sword and Shield, and then obviously generally your sentiment towards Sword and Shield over the last couple of years, and how you've found the experience of these new sets alongside the kind of insane years that were 2020 and 2021 for Pokemon, with all the kind of WotC and past era boom alongside this kind of insane drive for people to really get into modern Pokemon. So yeah, thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you later.